Elon Musk knows that Doge is a disaster, is why he is currently trying to reframe and redefine the complete chaos and corruption that has taken place under his watch, because he knows the actions that he is taking are incredibly unpopular. And it's not just him trying to reframe the agenda, obviously, because he is the co-president. He also has the support of the Fox propaganda network, who melted down and really kind of were triggered into this weird segment because of President Obama and what he had to say about the actions of Doge. We are going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we can talk about the way that Fox is trying to frame this argument, I also want to hear from Jared Moskowitz, who made an important point on just that.
Did fraud and improper payments start with Joe Biden? In his administration, was that the first time the government has experienced that?
That is not the first time that fraud was reported.
First time?
No.
First time?
No.
So we got to depoliticize this stuff, because all we're hearing is what happened in the last 4 years. In 2017, $140 billion of improper payments. That's inaccurate?
In 2024, we reported 162 billion.
No, hold on.
Payments.
In 2017, 140 billion in improper payments. In 2018, $150 billion of improper payments. In 2019, 174 billion of improper payments. And in 2020, 206 billion of improper payments. Those are GAO numbers. So let me just do some math. In the first Trump administration, there were $670 billion of improper payments. I'm not blaming him, but he is blaming Joe Biden, and so is Elon Musk, blaming for the improper payments for what happened in the 4 years of Joe Biden. My point is, Mr. Chairman, if we do want to solve this on a bipartisan basis, then we got to separate fact from fiction. We got to depoliticize it. $670 billion of improper payments and fraud, waste, and abuse in the first Trump administration. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Isn't that correct?
I don't have any reason to doubt your math, sir.
Okay. Isn't that correct?
I believe so.
Perfect.
So Doge is trying to pretend like the waste, fraud, and abuse in government just started under President Biden, rather than admitting the truth that there has always been waste in government, certainly a lot of it at the Pentagon, that Democrats for decades now have tried to go after. And that was the subject of this debate on Fox, in which we're going to take a look at what the meltdown was all about, and I have a lot to say on it.
Welcome back, super sleuths on the net, discovering Barack Obama's most horrifying secret. No, not that one, Dana. One that could shatter the image forever of our hope and change Messiah. Roll it, Lars.
What should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. Did you know the federal government pays for a website devoted to a folk music ensemble made up of forest rangers? They're called the Fiddlin' Foresters. I'll put their music on my iPod, but I'm not paying for their website.
The American people are entitled to transparency. By that I mean they're entitled to be able to figure out where their dollars are going.
Barry O was touting the virtues of cutting government waste back in 2011. Now, where have we heard that one before? Jessica, this is quite interesting, don't you think?
Not really.
Fiddlin' Foresters?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Waste, fraud, and abuse, huh?
Yeah, sure.
You guys invented it.
Well, no, but everybody...
Get to the point.
Is that the red light already? Yeah. Democrats don't like waste, fraud, and abuse either. Go back to what Bill Clinton did. Put Al Gore in charge of it.
That was a mistake. He put Biden. I'm talking about Biden. He put Biden in charge.
Biden's fault. I love this part of the show. It's Biden's fault.
It's like putting the Fox in charge of the hen house. Thank you.
Just go through Congress, work together to do that. You have Democrats that the first day they announced Doge said, sign me up. I'm happy to do this. It is widely popular as an idea. In execution, though, it's a massive bomb.
That's what you said just in the everything you agree with, except it's not doing well. You're not doing it the right way.
Well, do you think that going around and the hundreds of millions of dollars of cuts from like Johns Hopkins, Jesse isn't here to defend his sister's honor, but what they're doing there, I mean, all of our scientific innovation, medical innovation are coming from these institutes.
Like
the
COVID.
biggest
Like COVID.
That's
where
such
did
a
the
funny
virus
game.
come?
Okay.
Where did the virus
It came from a lab. Oh my God, it came from a lab.
Where did the money come from?
I can admit it. What gain of function? I'll say all the talking points that you want.
You're doing one right now.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you're doing that.
They are.
Well, I found this
Elon
one
Musk
example. This one example that says it's bad.
$800 million from Johns Hopkins is more than one example. There's thousands of employees
What are the
being
cuts?
fired.
What are the cuts? What are they cutting?
NIH
It's
grants
administrative.
that do our R&D.
It's redundant,
no, it's not. Go
and it has
look
to do
at
with technology.
The veterans that are getting fired, Social Security payments, that they're marking people as dead who are not dead. How do you feel about that?
Those are
no
mistakes.
Big deal.
But the thing is, you will agree with this, and then you will go, but I don't like the way it's being done.
Because he's not
well, then how do you do it?
Doing it. You do it like they did in the 90s. You don't do it like this. Elon Musk is getting more and more government contracts. He's not having to look under the hood of what he's doing. His companies aren't up for examination, but he's going around doing this. You know, it costs 12 cents per day to keep someone who has HIV alive, right? And we're cutting those contracts.
We're
with
killing
African
people
nations.
with HIV.
We are. Take a look at the New York Times article from the weekend.
I was busy. Brian?
So, for number one, Elon Musk cuts every day because he's got his own private business. And if it's not solved, the shareholders are going to keep him like.
Government dollars.
No, they don't just primarily run off government dollars.
Brian.
But when you go into space and NASA doesn't want to pay for it anymore, and the private industry says, I can't do it, and one guy goes, I can do it, and I can do it cheaper, and I can also put up I can also save your astronauts, that's a hero. He has to lean out his companies every single day. He doesn't need government to do it. A couple other things I think is important. You can't have politicians cut the budget. It's impossible.
Amen.
They have too much stake in the game. They will not cut anything that will hurt them politically.
Brilliant.
You are helping them to come in there with accountants and do it apolitically because Republicans are going to get hurt too, and you can't do it. Go ahead. Turn the head. This is going to hurt, so I'm going to have somebody else do it. Also, don't blame Elon Musk anymore. It's Amy Gleason.
First of all, what a stupid thing to say at the end. Blame Amy Gleason, this basically fake person invented to be the fall guy or the fall woman for all of Elon Musk's corruption so he can continue to skate free without being arrested like he should. But this is what I want to say. They're trying to use these clips of President Obama and President Clinton and Joe Biden talking about getting the waste, fraud, and abuse out of government as some justification for Elon's actions. But as Jessica Tarlov so perfectly stated, that's not how Joe Biden, Barack Obama, or Bill Clinton wanted to do it. What Elon Musk is doing is not getting waste out of government. He's getting government out of government. He is getting Social Security and Medicaid and programs that keep our nuclear arsenal from exploding. It is insanity that they're trying to use clips of Democrats talking reasonably about cuts that we can make to make sure people aren't paying taxes on stuff we don't need, with conflating that with Elon's operation of just obscurity and stupidity. These are not the same things. And we have to continue to make the case against this Doge argument that somehow Elon and his super geniuses, which they're not, are fixing things, which they are not. No matter what false narrative they try to employ, it is about breaking things, not fixing things. They are not taking the methods that President Obama did to cut regulation that was unneeded. They're trying to destroy the government and break Social Security. And that's what Rachel Maddow talked about right here.
Look at what the Washington Post was publishing just down the road. Quote, Social Security facing pressure from Doge weighs big cuts to phone service. Agency considers ending phone program that is used by millions of elderly and disabled Americans. One gobsmacked Social Security Administration employee told the Post today that this radical change, this radical cut to services that they were moving on in the Trump administration, quote, would be the single largest service disruption in agency history ever. The single largest service disruption in Social Security ever. Elon Musk's plan for Social Security was to, quote, end telephone service for claims processing, instead directing elderly and disabled people to the internet and to in-person field offices. Quote, the agency's toll-free number is a mainstay for older customers who do not have online access or who have trouble navigating the internet. About 40% of the claims that get made to Social Security are made over the phone using this phone line that Elon Musk now wants to kill. 40% of the claims at the agency. And naturally, this move to close the phone line and instead force old people and disabled people to go in person to in-person field offices, naturally that comes as Donald Trump is firing 7,000 people who work at Social Security and closing tons of the aforementioned field offices. President Biden's Social Security Administrator, former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley, ripped the bark off himself in his comments to the Post on this planned cut. Quote, "It would certainly appear," he said, "that they're trying to break the capacity of the agency to serve its customers. And I suppose if they're trying to dismember the agency, liquidate its assets, sell pieces of it to their billionaire friends to run, they have to discredit the agency in the eyes of its customers, and they do that by breaking its ability to serve." The Post says, quote, "The DOJ-driven proposal to shift all claims processing online and to in-person offices has spurred pushback internally," employees said, and from outside experts, for the same reasons, that it would be likely to imperil millions of Americans' ability to receive their earned benefits. This is what they're doing. This is what's going on. And so this is what happens today. Congressman John Larson, who I just showed you, screams his freaking head off in Congress about it this morning. Screams at them. And then at noon, the Washington Post publishes this horror movie script about their plan, indeed, to rip the guts out of Social Security. Beyond firing everybody, which they're already doing, right? Beyond closing the field offices, they're now making it so that old and disabled people literally cannot call anyone to find out what's going on. But then you know what happened? They caved. They decided not to do it. Don't let anybody tell you that pushback doesn't work. Don't let anybody tell you that yelling and making a fuss doesn't matter.
These guys aren't trying to cut things that don't work. They're trying to break things so they don't work. That's the ultimate goal, is sowing greater distrust in government so they can dismantle it and sell it for scraps to pay for a bigger tax cut for billionaires. That is what it is ultimately and always all about. And it is the narrative that we have to use to push back against their lies. And we're going to be doing so on the show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you soon.